Letter of St. Paul, Second Epistle of Paul to Timothy. 2 Timothy is one of 3 pastoral epistles. These are usually accredited to St. Paul. It is said that 2 Timothy is the last epistle that Paul wrote before his death. This epistle is dedicated to Timothy. Paul met Timothy on Timothy's second missionary journey. Paul then became his mentor. It is urged that the epistle was not written by Paul. The language, terminology, and principles are distinct from the 2 other pastoral epistles. In Paul's letter, he urges Timothy to not be ashamed of proclaiming the Lord. Paul admonishes his son Timothy to all alertness and adherence in the face of invalid lessons, with advice about debating them, with quotation to the instruction of the past, to patience under persecution. Paul vividly awaits his being put to death and realities beyond his valedictory found in 2 Timothy. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight, I have finished my course, I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love is appearing. A base overview of the second letter of St. Paul to Timothy is predated by 1 Timothy and supplanted by his letter to Titus. The letters to Timothy and the one to Titus encompass the pastoral letters of Paul, for they are all having to do with the task of a minister in caring for his district. Timothy was one of Paul's early converts. Timothy is first voiced in Acts 16:1. When Paul went to Derbe and then Lystra, where a disciple named Timothy lived, whose mother was a Jewess and a believer, but whose father was a Greek. Assuming from the text, St. Paul wrote the second letter to Timothy as a prisoner in Rome, and was soon to be sent to death. This is Paul's last writing. He suffered from martyrdom shortly after in Rome. The prominent tone of his letter is emotional and very personal. The major themes of 2 Timothy rejects false teachings, teaches rule, avoid heresies, spread what you have learned. All Scripture is inspired by God and is useful for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness. Be faithful and spread joy and faith. Bring new hope to others, so that everyone who belongs to God may be proficient, equipped for every good work. Remember Paul's conduct and remain firm in the faith. Preach the gospel persistently, even if people don't listen. Paul has finished his race and hopes to receive his reward.